Hello friends, today I am going to explain a very good and interesting proper supernatural horror movie that has just been released recently. The name of this movie is Saint Catherine. It is actually a horror anthology supernatural movie. And within this movie, we will see different segments, or should I say, different stories which are related to proper demons and this ritual, which are connected within a main story. So you will have a lot of fun watching it. So at the beginning of the story, we see Father Trade goes to see it and gets scared. And this is where this scene cuts, after which we see a girl who is the other grandmother, Anne's sister, performing. A bandage is put on the girl's face, after which she is sent inside a room where there were a lot of things lying around. And she also picks up one of these things, which is a hand mirror, after which she is given a weight, and this is where our first story begins. We see in the girl's vision, where we notice a girl named Sahara who was sitting next to a lady named Lene. Lane actually knew Deserta's mother quite well, and I would like to tell you that Deserta's mother is no longer in this world, and here she is watching a movie in the desert with Link. Now, while watching the movie, Sahara feels as if someone is with her, and she feels the presence of someone all the time, as if someone is watching her constantly. Sometimes she feels as if something very bad is going to happen to her, to which Lene starts saying that when she was her age, the same thing happened to her, and she was also afraid in the same way. But one day, Lene found a book at a relative's house in which it was written about supernatural and dark forces, which are called leeches. Just like every human being has an angel, similarly, every soul has a leechy attached to it. But they do not help you, but feed on your fear and sadness. They basically feed them. Demons, you could say, are most active when you are alone and emotionally vulnerable. The more you fear, break down, or feel hopeless, the more powerful they become. And this is not just a horror concept, but it is also a metaphor, which means that the negative emotions that occur in real life, such as fear, sadness, or some drama, create darkness within us, and our mental state weakens, and this is a kind of symbolism for these inner demons that become powerful at our low points. Well, here Lene tells Sahara a way to avoid them. She tells her a ritual that could be used to avoid the unleashes. And this is what ritual Lene did, after which she never felt scared again. And this same thing used to happen with the desert mother. But she also did not trust these sons and so on. What was it, and she thought, that she would be cured with medicines or medicine, but the call to prayer could not be made. Now, she is in a hurry. She tells Sahar about this ritual and how she has to perform it. 4 methods are mentioned in it. The first is chanting, meaning reciting mantras, etc. The second is manifestation. The third is not told to us here. And the fourth is revelation. After which she has started walking and doing rituals, she starts reciting the mantra. And this mantra is Super Chua Sink Day, standard, which means the spirit is in front of her. And she also has a mirror in her hands so that she can see the latch. But then a demon appears inside the mirror, after seeing which she fakes Mir Ali, after which she comes in front of her face. Her mother says in her ears that now she is free. And after saying this, her mother turns into a slut, and she steps on Sierra, due to which Sarah had become unconscious on the spot. After a while, when her eyes open, she checked on her stomach, where there was also a step mark. Now after this, Sahara comes with a hammer for her self-defense and goes to the slut, where she finds her while watching TV, but she was not moving at all. It seemed as if she had gone crazy. After which, the sound of Sahara is set, starts coming from the TV. Now, Zena tries to talk to Lane, but Lene started laughing after hearing the sound of the desert. Actually, here, Sahara was stuck in another dimension. After which we see Lene, who is looking at Sahara's body. Here we find out that the one Lene had gotten from Sahara was actually a relic of a woman. Now, after seeing this weight, the girl is blood that the girl had seen had a SAM mirror in it, which the girl had picked up, meaning that this mirror was connected to the same accident. So let us talk about this story. Here the one Lean had. Sahara deliberately got her relic. And here, Lean got this relic done and handed Sierra over to the devil, or rather, sent her into the demon realm. It must have benefited her in some way. Maybe she did it for wealth or health. Although Sarah had trusted her with this thing, but she broke the trust. That was. It also shows human nature, that one person can easily take advantage of another person due to their selfishness. Now, the scene comes to Catherine's institute, where we see Detective Miller, who had brought a girl named Allie to church. Now here, Miller tells Sister Elizabeth about this girl, who is an orphan. He tells that this girl was kidnapped by Father Ted Gacy. And we saw Father Ted Gacy in the beginning, and he did some things to her, which were dramatizing. He used to talk to her in some strange way, and this girl he met in an underground tunnel. Miller wanted to keep this girl with him because she was not well, and she was in dramas, and she needed supernatural healing. Hearing this, Sister Elizabeth agrees. After Kairum Miller leaves, Sister Elizabeth tells Allie that this is her home from today. And Kaukiomu Shetia Ted Gacy, which Miller had brings on institute. And then, at night, Sister Elizabeth shows Allie Ko's his bedroom and leaves. Now, after she leaves, Allie had fallen asleep, but Allie still has nightmares of the tunnel, where we saw that Allie was inside the tunnel, but she also saw a demon there, which is probably. The next day, Allie was in the church, and that is when Sister Elizabeth comes there. And Sister Allie, Zubadah knew that Allie had a scary dream the previous night, and she also knew that there was nothing normal about her. Now here, she tells Allie that they will fix her together, help her overcome the trauma, and whatever is going on after which, she takes her with her, where the rest of the sisters bandage her eyes. And here we find out that the girl who had picked up the mirror was none other than Allie. Now what was happening here is there was a progression ceremony, and I will explain this ceremony very well. In it, a student was sent to a room where several cursed objects were kept that had been used in the trunk rituals before, such as the mirror in the beginning, which means that all these objects are used. Their job is to keep an evil or demonic entity inside. As you may remember in the Conjuring movie, which is Warren's museum, there were many such objects inside it. And these objects are called totems. Each totem is connected to some specific demon, or hand, and if that demon reaches its totem, it can either be freed or become even more powerful, which will be very dangerous. Now the student's job is to understand the entire past or history of this totem, and the student sees these things like a weight, which we saw in the movie. In the beginning, we saw Allie doing it, as if she saw Sahara's story. And these are the same things that will be our segments, meaning that we will see the story of the things that Allie will start touching, and in the same way, this anthology is going to be a horror movie, which is one of a kind, because we have seen very few anthologies with proper horror movies. Hear that too, like church and demon-related anthologies. Here, Allie's job was to find the truth of the evil energy locked inside the totem and suppress or destroy this entity that is connected to this totem. And if she does this, she could separate that evil energy from within herself. And this whole process was like a dark and treacherous journey, where each object hides a dangerous horror story inside it. And as we had already seen, Ellie was sent inside the room with this belt tied to it, which was the Holy Grail. There would be a belt in it. A debt, object or totem was kept. Now she picks up another totem from it, after which she has a vision of the history of this totem. Within this vision, there was a pregnant lady who was tied to the bed. and at the same time, she was also bleeding internally. And the time for her delivery had come.
There is also a man who had tied up the lady. Now you will know why he had tied her up. The lady asks the man for water, and the man gives her water, but after drinking the water, he tries to kill her. But the lady kicks him and frees herself. The baby was about to come out of her womb, and she gives birth to the baby right there. Seeing this, the man destroys the baby, and here comes a shocking twist. Actually, this lady was a vessel of the devil who would give birth to the devilish child. But every time this man would destroy the child that was born. Now, the lady then asks the demon, or the devil, and says that the child will be born. And only then, she became pregnant again on her own. The man could have done something now, but before that, the devil himself had come there. He orders him to imbue his newborn baby with his blood. And as soon as he says this, the man slits his throat, and then a 666 means the devil's child is born, meaning that before that, he had killed 665 children. I mean, devil's child is 1830s very dogmatizing, and shocking. The devil picks up his child who was originally a girl. And this was the story of this totem. After seeing which Ali's condition worsens, the plot changes, where Ali sees a nightmare in which Ali had father dead, who was practicing exorcism on her, which is the opening scene. But Ellie was with Damon. So Damon comes there and kills the father. So here we had understood that this is the Ed inside Ellie, and his eyes open from this terrible nightmare. Only then does Sister Elizabeth appear there, and Elizabeth, seeing Ali, understands that she is Dame. Damon Elizabeth is having trouble. She says that she has the powers of the foreside. If Ali wants, she can see inside her what is bothering her, to which Ali agrees. It is the same thing she also wanted, to get away from this trouble. After that, Elizabeth holds her hand and feels what is inside her. And then she goes to Sister Ali Zubida and finds out that a terrible demon is living inside Ellie, which she left as soon as she felt it. After which it was time to start the spell again, but Elizabeth starts to forbid the teacher Susan from doing this, and tells Susan that they have to send Ali away because there is something very evil and dark inside Ellie that can be a threat to the Institute. And you and Ellie have failed the ceremony many times, which is an indication that something is wrong with Ellie. Then Susan shouts and tells her that they do not judge anyone, but help people in trouble. And by saying this, the Damon killed Pard. Ali is brought to the ceremony from the copper, where this time Ali chooses a key, after which she finds out the story behind the key, where in the story we see Imam, who goes to the house of a man named Khalid. Actually, Khalid's wife was in a very bad condition, because a jinn had gone inside her. And Imam here had not taken the jinn out of her body. Now Imam brings Khalid, that he will cure his wife, after which both of them start going inside, where Imam says that he will take 15,000 dirhams for this work, but he will take 10,000 from Khalid, because he is a good and religious person, goes to Khalid's wife, where she was made from the bed with the help of hand, crosses here. Imam asks Khalid for something, and Khalid went inside to get it. But as soon as he goes inside, Imam attaches the wire that gives pleasure to Khalid's wife's body touch with electrical wire. And he was doing all this secretly. And here we find out that Imam is actually a fraud. How does he go to the black market and here Imam shows his time? This movie is a bit long. That is why I have divided it into 2 parts, so please watch the next part. The next scene is very interesting and very horror. So you will definitely watch the next scene.